I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
See, we got a pretty good crowd tonight. Thanks everybody for coming. Next on our agenda is the minutes for the February 5th regular meeting.
No. Make a motion we approve the minutes of the February 5th regular meeting as written.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second for the minutes of February 5th regular meeting. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes. Next is our bills for the general account. February 6th through February 28th for $126,768.34. And as of March 5th for $86,557.69. Did you find out what that thing you was asking about, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Oh, brake control.
Brake control. That's what I thought.
Like that hitch.
Okay.
I have a question on Centus fire extinguishers. Is that an annual fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did the fire extinguishers and the emergency lights. They checked them out.
Okay.
All right,
I
I'll
will
make
make a motion we pay the bills for February 6th through February 28th for $126,768.34, and as of March 5th for $86,557.69.
I'll
With the
second.
signing of checks after me.
Fritz, you seconded?
Yeah, I second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second to pay the bills. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Brian? Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes. Next, we'll open up the meeting to public comment. If anybody wants to bring anything up at this time, would they please rise and state your name?
Brian Perry from the Bignall Fire Department. Just coming back to you guys after our workshop as far as if we had any financial assistance coming our way for the rescue pool purchases that we did a few months ago.
None's been decided on yet, but we should be working on something, I guess, I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, make the decision one way or the other if you want to give funds towards it or not. That's where it's at. So
We didn't make up a decision yet, so
Okay.
we'll let you know as soon as we can.
Okay, and then on another note, our Station 2 on Route 68 will be empty as of tomorrow.
Okay.
The truck that is going to Missouri will be picked up tomorrow. So I know we talked about if you guys were interested in taking over the
Electric and
utilities
stuff like
for that building, considering it'll just be pretty much township stuff in that building at this
Right.
point. So we wanted to see if that was gonna happen too, and when we could transfer that into your name,
Yeah,
if that's gonna happen.
it's about $2,500 the way it's used right now
right.
for electric and heat.
Right. You're going to be putting your trailer and stuff in there, Tom, is that
Yeah, I
correct?
already have 3 pieces up there.
Okay.
Now I have the sweeper, the broom, and the small mowing tractor.
Yeah.
And the one part. Yeah.
I think we'd have to make a motion on that to do
You're
that.
going to be spending money on it.
You're right.
We're going to make an agreement with them to take over just the utility part of it anyways. And
Okay.
if we need to have it as high as that or lower, we can lower it down too. It depends on what they're going to be
That's
doing.
Station 2?
Station 2.
Correct.
All right, I'll make a motion before the board that we take over the utilities from Big Knob Volunteer Fire Department for Station number 2.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Anything else?
Thank you,
Okay,
John.
thank you, appreciate it. And then if anyone has any comments on the MS4. Okay, we'll move on to administration. We're going to adopt ordinance number 213, emergency responder, rapid access entry box. Let's unlock the boxes so that commercial buildings in the township would be responsible, would have a box outside so emergency personnel can get in with a key, and the key for the buildings would be in there. So we need a motion to adopt that.
I make a motion we adopt ordinance number 213, emergency responder rapid access entry box, better known as Knox box.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second for ordinance number 213. Any questions or comments?
We have one back there.
Yes, sir.
Barry Grafton. I have a couple buildings here in the township. When I read in this thing, if we did any improvements, got any permits for anything on that, that we might have to put one of them things in. Not
Sounds
exactly
good.
sure I like that idea.
How come? If your building's burning down, you wouldn't want somebody to get in there and save it?
Well, they doing it anyway. How
They're
many
doing it
other
anyway.
townships have this?
I'm not aware of how many other ones, but I'm sure there's. Would you know that, PJ?
I don't know exactly how
I don't
many.
know. This more or less comes down to our commercial area, where the big buildings are, the craft industrial plant out there and stuff. The fire department's been called out there numerous times for false alarms, and they haven't been able to get into the building because the so-called key holder can't get a hold of them. And this has gone on many, many times. And the fire department and 911 and the safety personnel believe it's a safety issue for not only our community, but the people working in there. If they have no way to access to get into those buildings for a certain call, fire call, a gas call, anything,
It saves us
It's
from
just-
doing property damage to the building.
right, they don't have to break down a door, they don't have to bust your window in, they can easily open that key, get in there and go into the building. I mean, so it's a safety issue 100%.
And how
So
secure is that? I worked for a locksmith years ago, part-time. There isn't a lock, an alarm system, a safe, a vault, or anything. It can't be gotten around with enough time, knowledge,
Well,
patience.
that's a situation everywhere you go. I mean, not everything's perfect and not everybody's 100% honest. So we hope to God that the community and the bad people, community is okay with it. You know, it's a safety issue, and you have good and bad no matter where you're going to go. So, you know, your building's there now. All they can do is break that window and go in if they want to rob it. They're not going to worry about trying to break that key open to get in there. If they're going to rob you, they're going to rob you.
What's the cost, PJ?
Knox box?
Yeah.
About $125, $150.
He asked that question when he came in the other day, and I wasn't sure what the price was. So I guess that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I'm probably not as bad as you thought it was going to be if it's required on the buildings.
So
125.
estimate.
That's not too bad, Barry, is it?
That's estimated.
No, that's
Yeah.
not that bad. Just the security issue is what
Yeah.
I wonder about. How secure is the thing?
I think I explained that to you when you came in. You know, it's not everybody has a key to your building. That key is inside the truck. You have to hit the button. Only certain people have access, and then that will open up the box so they can get the key out to open up your door. So it's not like every fireman has that, and anytime it is touched, it records who went in there and got that. So it's as secure as you can be. I don't think there's another way to go around it to make it any secure.
There's not a whole lot of keys. It's more of the one key with a passcode. So if I need to get into your building, I have to enter a 4 or 5 digit number into the truck. The truck will not release that key unless I have permission to authorize that. And then there will be a light that stays on that says that key is not in that box. And then once we unlock it, we have to put it back in. So, and that goes for any person that would have access to that we know who that is.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Is Big Knob handling this then
Yes.
We will buy the boxes.
for all in New Sewickley?
Yes. We will
Okay.
control the boxes. It's a minimum, Dwayne, what it is it's a minimum I have to buy 10 boxes
Okay,
to get the township master key.
okay.
So at all times, we'll keep the boxes at our station. And then you need them, send them over, we'll get them, and
I will make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 213.
We already
We already
did.
did it, Dwayne.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So is there any other questions or comments?
Chairman, it was brought up, they thought the police were having those keys, we do not.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, any other questions? Yes.
Bigger businesses have to have it, everybody? I mean, if you're one-man operation, one garage, you have to have it?
I'm not really sure on that. All newly constructed non-residential buildings regarded as a principal structure subject to Township Ordinance 208, and or when the subject to the Township subdivision and land development ordinances. All newly constructed buildings containing more than 2 dwelling units as defined by the Township zoning ordinance, when such buildings have restricted access through locked doors and a common corridor for access to the living units. All existing buildings constructing improvements which require Planning Commission approval as land developments or conditional use zoning approval, or constitute a change of use group under the PA Uniform Construction Code, or zoning changes from residential to commercial or multiple family residential. So no, you would not have to change it unless you did upgrade stuff to your building.
If you don't agree with it, what do you do?
If you what?
If you don't want to get it,
Just don't get it.
Yeah, that's your choice.
Yeah.
It's only, you'd only have to get it for your building if you do any upgrades or anything like that. You would come before the Planning Commission or the Zoning Hearing Board to change your structure of your building. As of right now, you're pretty much grandfathered in. You don't need it.
Right.
Okay? Okay?
kind of like a breach of privacy.
I'm telling you,
Not really.
now that you don't need it.
You
You're
don't need it, so
grandfathered
you're
in that you
fine.
don't need it. Unless you change the zoning of your building. Okay? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Next will be our treasurer's report.
Okay, February 1st, the beginning balance was $585,359.64. The income that month was $248,310.95. Expenses that went out, $437.94, with a balance of March 1st of $632,232.65.
And thank you, Lois. Appreciate it.
That's very good.
All right, next we're going to set cleanup day for May 4th at the Big Knob Grange from 8 to 12 with one road department employee to work. We need to take an action on that.
Mr. Chairman, that also
Yes.
requires the backhoe to be
Okay.
involved with that, because we usually take it over to smash everything down to try to get as much in the dumpsters as we can.
Okay.
So you have to be aware of that.
All right, I'll make a motion before the board that we set cleanup for May 4th at the Big Knob Grange from 8 to 12 with one road department employee with a backhoe to work it.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Next is set tire collection for May 11th at the Township Building from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. with one road department employee to work with the township in the township to purchase lunch. Need action on
I'll
that.
make a motion to set tire collection for May 11th at the Township Building from 9 to 12. With the road department employee to work in the township to purchase lunch.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we got a motion and a second for tire collection for May 11th. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Next, we need action to approve a 3-year agreement with Simon Landscaping to maintain 3 cemeteries 4 times a year at a cost of $500 per cutting. Those are the 3 cemeteries in the township that we're responsible for taking care of and keeping the grass cut and the leaves and everything cleaned and picked up. Simon Landscaping has been doing it for the last several years and he does a very good job, and $500 to take care of that's a pretty good deal.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 3-year agreement with Simon Landscaping to maintain our 3 cemeteries 4 times a year at a cost of $500 per cutting.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second for Simon Landscaping to maintain the cemeteries. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne? Tom?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes. Next on our agenda is PennDOT is requesting the township name the 2 loops off of Freedom Crider Road for the new road that they'll be doing the second phase on off of Crow's Run Road, I guess. And they're looking for us to suggest names to them for the 2 loops. The new road's going to go straight through, and where the existing houses are, they wanted to make cul-de-sacs at the ends, and we didn't want them for snowplow reasons. We wanted to be able to drive in and drive right back out, so that's still in the phases of design, so we're not sure if that's going to happen yet, but that's what the township's requesting. So they're looking for names of for suggestions of the 2 loops. And one suggestion came up for Dwayne Ray Road, and the other one was Wildflower Hollow Road, being that one of our township residents who passed away kept the wildflowers down there, and they'd always come into the township building and saying, "Come see the wildflowers, come see the wildflowers." So
Do we have time
I believe we have time. We don't have
to ask the residents to,
if anybody wants to put a suggestion in.
We could. PennDOT's requested this before, and they wanted it by the end of last month. That's not on their list today, and they didn't call me today on it. They called me with some other stuff, but I don't know if it's a big deal.
Yeah, so they're still in the
if we put
design
time,
phase.
The homeowners.
you could, or past history of the
Maybe
road,
we
of
can
who
put it on
lived
the
there way
website.
years ago.
If anybody wants to put a suggestion in, they can.
Yeah, they're just 2 loop roads coming off of Freedom Crider Road to go back to their cells. So,
Are there houses there?
couple.
Yeah.
That's why they have to put them to get back to houses. When the road moves, it moves up away from there. So
Will
they have
there
to
be street signs to designate that?
That's
Yes.
what they're asking for.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that. Makes sense.
All right, so we'll put that out there if anybody has suggestions or anything they want to put in. Be greatly appreciated. So. All right, next on the agenda, request to purchase an 8-yard front load recycling container for $945. That's under our recycling grant. That would be for cardboard boxes and that to be smashed down and put into the container so they don't take up so much space.
Are we gonna pick it up ourselves?
Yes.
Okay. I saw that it was 57 miles.
Yeah, it's not that far to pay them $700 to bring it here. It
Right.
makes sense since we have the trailer and the truck to do it. We'll just send the road department up to go pick it up.
I'll make the motion before the board to purchase an 8-yard front load recycling container for $945 under the recycling grant.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes. Next is a request to have the solicitor advertise for bids to construct the amphitheater. Need to make an action on that.
Is that an action motion?
Yes.
I make that motion that we have our solicitor advertise for bids to construct the amphitheater Green Valley Parkway.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second for solicitor to advertise for bids to construct the amphitheater. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to public safety. First up, be our police monthly report.
Chairman, for the month of February 2019, there was 19 motor vehicle accidents, there was 18 criminal arrests, 236 calls for service, 87 citations issued, there's 26 field interviews, 69 criminal incidents investigated, and 159 pieces of property either came in or out of the property. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Tell the rest of the crew we thank you for everything you do, and big drug bust you had in the township this month. Appreciate that very much. Hope we don't see any more of those.
Hopefully not.
We know you guys are doing a good job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Next will be our fire department's monthly report. PJ?
All right, you should have 2 copies. January, bottom left-hand corner. I didn't have this last month for you, so I gave you last month. We'll just do February.
That's it.
February total 48 calls, 1 fire, 20 rescue EMS runs, 21 service calls, 6 false alarm calls, total 48. Your next page is a breakdown of all the calls for that month of February. Should be the next 2. This is a brand new program we just got up and running, so on this you can see the number of apparatus that responded to the call, the type of the call, the address, number of personnel on calls. Your next sheet is an NFPA 1710 report now that the state is requesting us to put out. Basically all the calls, gives you in route times, on scene times of less than 5 minutes or less than 9 minutes. That would be your next 2. Next page, again, it just breaks down all the calls, how many hours or minutes were spent on the calls. And the final pages would be the breakdown, each individual member and their percentage of that month for answering the calls. That's all I got.
I have a question. How do you calculate so precisely?
The computer,
Oh,
everything that I log into the state reports is basically what you're getting here. So this all got to be, state about 4 years ago required this now. So every call we do goes into the fire commissioner and he reviews everything. So out of that computer program now I can generate the complete report form.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peach. Appreciate it. Tell all your members thank you, and we appreciate them. Is anybody here from Pine Run?
No.
They called and said they would not be here. They were actually over at the
That's
Grange.
the Grange, yeah. All right, next on, move to the road department. Request to purchase a wood chipper from Vermeer or Stevenson Equipment for a cost not to exceed $62,000. Again, it's under our recycling grant. And Tom informed me that they're going to be bringing them here for demonstration. And
Yeah, we found out that the chipper that we were looking at, and then we found out that you could get them with gas engines in them, and I had no idea that that's still available. I thought everything was diesel now.
right.
So it's a cost-saving thing to put a gas engine in, because the diesels are 130 horsepower, the gases are 165 horsepower, and you don't have to mess with no DEF fluid or anything like that. So we're looking to see how well they perform, the gas over the diesel. So I have a gas one coming tomorrow, and if we do choose to get the gas one, it will be cheaper than the 62,000. And
Right.
with that said, we could get the winch and some other things on it, and it'd still be cheaper than the $62,000. So it would be less money the township side of it paying it.
Right.
Cost is less.
Yeah.
It's less that we don't have to pay out of our pocket to match.
We're almost what, 7,000 cheaper than for the gas. This Vermeer, is that the gas one?
Yeah.
With a winch and everything, it's only 54.9.
Yeah, that's
so.
the gas, yes.
And then this other one, is it gas Stevens?
Yes.
Okay.
It's also gas.
It's 52,000, so significant savings there. So.
Yeah, so like I said, we want to try them out because it's such a big purchase.
Right.
We don't want to get the wrong one. That's why we're trying to diesel in the gas out.
We'll need to take action on that, please.
Make a motion to purchase a wood chipper from Veneer or
No.
Stevenson. What's that?
You don't want to purchase it.
Request
No.
to purchase.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's it. A wood chipper from Vermeer or Stevenson Equipment for a cost not to exceed $62,000.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Purchase a wood chipper from Vermeer or Stevenson, not to exceed $62,000 under the recycling grant. Any questions or comments? Roll call. Go ahead,
Excuse me. What do you use a wood chipper? You mean like if you cut a tree down? and-
Yeah, we have it because we have people that bring the recycling here for the brush
There's a
and
pile back
everything.
here
We
that's
chip
big
it
as
all
a
up.
They bring trees and branches and
Yes.
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Along with the
It's
grass.
full back here right now.
Yeah, there for a while, Mike was my best customer.
We get paid for it.
Yeah.
And then what we do is when we get a load, I take it to Brighton Township to put in their facility to Beaver County. They have a big facility. They mix the mulch and the leaves and all that stuff together.
Do they pay us for that?
No, we paid
pay
dump
them,
it.
but it's a
We get
really
it
a
back in
minimal
grant.
cost.
Do you ever notice sometimes, like I noticed down by the Villa St. Joseph, they take wood chips and they put it in the site? Would we have a use for that to,
Well, a lot of that stuff, it's not treated. So there it's not treated chips, you get a lot more
Disease
insects
and
and
bugs.
ants than you do with the treated stuff. So
We get a lot of pine too, and pine sap and all that.
And what the county does with that, they mix the chips and the grass and leaves together, and they have a machine that in the summertime, so often they'll stir the stuff up, and within months, that stuff becomes topsoil, basically. And he says it'll grow grass on rocks, I guess.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Fritz,
yes?
Greg.
Yes.
Thank you. And the other one, whenever we do get one, I need to have permission to sell the other chipper that we have now on Municipal.
Okay, the other one will be request to sell the Badger wood chipper on municipal bid once we receive the new one. So I'll make a motion before the board to put the Badger wood chipper on municipal bid once we receive the new one.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Next is a request to approve the advertising of rental equipment and liquid asphalt.
Yeah, this is the same thing we do every year. We combine them both. That way there's no squabble if something would go wrong with the oil or the road, because one company does it all. So it's worked out good and well in the past. That's why we put them both together.
Need a motion on that.
I make a motion to request approval to advertise for rental equipment and liquid asphalt.
I'll second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Next, we'll have an update on the building. Supervisor Applequist.
Tom and I and his bunch had a meeting on February 7th, I believe it was. Hats off to you, you got quite a group there, Tom.
I really appreciate that. They are quite a group.
They are. We talked about a bunch of things, and the main thing was the building, and I want to give everybody an update on the building and a kind of a timetable. Right now, we have a CPA doing an audit on the township, and they're going to make a recommendation to us whether we can afford to go forward with the building or not. We have to make a decision by May of this year whether we want to do the loan or not. And then the timetable from that point on, it's going to take 6 months to approve the loan. So there's still, we're talking the end of the year to get full approval on everything that we're ready to go. And then after that, or while that's going on, we can put a master plan together and start working on a GC. I understand we have to get a general contractor, and then they can go out and start doing some bid work for us. I know this is looking down the road, but those are the things, the timetable of how things are going to take place.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tom, for everything again. And the rest of the guys, I know you're busy salting and plowing and de-icing, so appreciate that. And guys, be careful out there. All right, we'll move on to our solicitor to discuss advertising for the public hearing for the adoption of the proposed zoning amendments.
Sure. The zoning amendment needed to have the planning commission for the county to review it, and they're going to be reviewing it on their March 19th meeting. And after that, assuming they'll come back with the recommendations or comments, and based on those recommendations, we may want to make some changes to the zoning amendment. My recommendation would be that we just do nothing until the next meeting so that we can hear back from them, see if there's any changes that need to be made. If there are changes, we can bring it back to you guys to give it a thumbs up or down, and then ultimately we'll just need to advertise it twice.
Okay.
So we could do that and be ready for the May meeting. I think that's the best way to go with that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Next, we have the franchise agreement with Armstrong Utilities.
The franchise agreement is up for renewal, but it's actually probably a new agreement. And they're asking for a 10-year period. The way the cable franchise agreements work is that by statute they can't give the municipality any more than 5% of the revenue that they bring in based on their contract. So there's really there's not a whole lot to the contract you can do to make it better or worse, because they're stuck with that 5%. I did look at the contract. They do list that you'll get 5% of all of their revenue sources. So that, it looks to me like it covers the waterfront as far as that goes. The only thing I'd recommend is maybe to consider if they'll agree to a 5-year term. They usually will do that rather than 10. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility, that you're not stuck for 10 years with it. It's Armstrong Cable. I think overall they have a good customer service reputation. So if the township's been happy with them, I think it's probably a good choice. The only thing that you could consider if you wanted is there's an attorney, Dan Cohen is his name. You might have heard of his practice. He'll basically, his firm keeps up on all of the changes in cables, the laws and the cable companies and how they do everything. And so his claim is that he can help municipalities if they want to negotiate the sort of the minutia of it. And that's certainly something you could consider. He would certainly know more about that than I would. The municipalities that I've been involved with that had the same issue come up are generally most interested in the fact that there's this 5% that sort of is what it is. Yeah. And as long as you feel like you're getting paid what you should be paid, I don't know how much more he can do for you, frankly. Okay. But that's always a possibility, and if you wanted to go down that route, I'd certainly help facilitate that. So I think that would be the other choice.
Have Walt or yourself?
We've discussed
it with him for a 5-year instead of the 10.
Yeah, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. I think we discussed this already, and that was one of my thoughts too, to go with the 5-year.
Okay.
It's a good idea to go with the 5-year.
Yeah.
Because the market's changing so much right now.
Right.
And I don't think they'll have any problem with that. I think
Okay.
they'll agree with that.
Is there a possibility?
Good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is there a right to audit in that contract?
There is a right to do that.
Okay, have we ever audited them to verify we get that 5%?
No, as far as I know, there hasn't been anything by the township.
That's one of the things Cohen would do if you brought
Well,
him
if
in.
you have the right to audit, if you have the right to audit, you have the right to audit.
Right.
Cohen,
Yeah,
not going to do anything more.
Right. We have the right.
If your CPA, if you have your CPA look at that and see,
Right.
verify that you're getting your 5%.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if
That's
the right
okay.
to audit was in there, that's all.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
question.
have a question.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Is there a possibility that somewhere down the line, somebody might acquire them, maybe Comcast will come in and buy a smaller, might buy Armstrong. Do we have to live by that agreement as long, say next year, that would we still get do we have, in other words, can we negotiate even though another company bought us? And then second question, what would it cost to have this attorney look at this? Say if we could get another 1 or 2%.
can't.
You can't. That's the thing. By law, they can't give you any more than 5%.
All right, never mind.
So that's the issue there. As far as the assignment, I'd have to double check the. I think they do have a right to assign it, so that if that did happen, that they were sold to a larger cable company, I think that you would still be.
We'd fall under.
Still be bound by that, but let me just check real quick. See what I can see. No, it says Armstrong will not assign this agreement or franchise to any non-affiliate without the prior written consent of the franchise authority, which consent will not be withheld unreasonably. So actually, the franchise authority is the one that would be. Would be the one that would handle that, and we are we're a new Sewickley is the definition for the franchise authority. So we would have the right to say whether or not we wanted them to assign it. So that's good.
Thank you much. Anything else, Fritz? No. All right, thank you much. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, thank you much. Appreciate it again. Moving on to our engineer.
Sure.
Heather.
Good evening. We received at the beginning of the month the subdivision plan for Modrak, the remainder of lot number 6, plan number 2, and sent out a letter with minor comments. I believe about 5 or 6. It was not much going on. It was a good plan. On February 17th, 2019, and this morning I talked with Wally Nero and worked out all the minor questions he had. So we're good on that and should expect a Mylar soon.
Right.
With the ETP Freedom Compressor site, I was out of town for the Planning Commission meeting, so my coworker went, and it was a pretty fruitful meeting from my feedback, and we'll be working with ETP and Walt to schedule a next inspection, and a final inspection will occur once they're completely finished, including all of the on-site apparatuses, including the building itself, lighting, landscape, yada yada yada. And then this morning, on Sunday, I received an Freedom Gas Conditioning Plant civil overall plot plan. It doesn't look like it's been updated since last year, but we'll look through and see if there's anything we need to comment on. But
okay,
I'm not sure
now,
what
it
we
was
need
brought
that
to my
for.
attention earlier today that they're going to be doing sound litigation
They're
testing
gonna-
over there, and we would like
Tentatively, they're going to have a sound study done on Friday, March 29th, that they're going to be doing a sound study, and I would suggest that the engineer be there when they do that.
Yes.
That's all weather permitting on the 29th.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anything else, Heather?
I do. I got a drainage issue at the park that I'd like to give the engineer, because the Turnpike Commission doesn't believe in me. That water runs uphill somehow. So I would like to have the engineers battle with their engineers
Okay.
on, and I'll get with you, Heather, on what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Just to run the water more to the east, whatever that would be, to get it away from the park down through the middle. This has been a long going
This is a continuation of
a drainage issue that we talked about in the past,
Yeah.
but their engineers
I think there's
believe that we can do it a different way, and I said you can't. So
okay.
I think we need to put some drawings to it by an engineer to battle them.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thanks. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it.
Sure.
I know you're busy. You got a lot on your plate. Okay, moving on to planning, zoning, sanitation, and recreation board. First will be the recreation board. copy of their annual report.
Yes, you have a copy of our annual report. I have extras if anybody wants one. They're just the highlights of our accomplishments last year, and on the second page, just some of our thoughts moving forward. And this month, we meet next week. The only thing that we're starting to roll on community days. We have a lot of vendors are already calling, so we need to make a decision if we're going to keep the setup fees the same or make any changes. So that'll be decided Monday night, and that's about it. We're just moving forward with Community Day. The sports programs are all getting ready, hopefully, weather permitting, to start up the 1st of April. And we've had a lot of interest from outside sports teams, clubs, whatever you want to call it, of use of the parks, fields, baseball, soccer, softball. So we are obviously coordinating anything that can be through our organizations, because Freedom Baseball, Freedom Girls Softball, and Fast Freedom Soccer, that's their home field. That's their part to use those fields. Right. They maintain those fields. So we're working together with them to see if there's any. We want kids to play ball, right. So if we can help a neighboring community in field use, we want to. But obviously, that would be at a fee, because right. the associations of ours that maintain their fields themselves need to be reimbursed for that. So that's something new for us that we've never done before. So I've been doing a lot of research on neighboring communities and how they do it. It's really hard to compare us, because we are one of the few that is a strictly volunteer board that runs the park. And we don't maintain the ball fields. The associations do. The athletic associations do. And that's really unique. It doesn't seem to be happening anywhere else. So they can say, this is a flat fee, this is how much we charge for use of a ball field. We can't say that because we don't maintain the fields. So I'm kind of in some gray area, but
we maintain them when the season's closed.
Absolutely. We cut the grass.
We cut the grass through the season.
Exactly, we cut the grass.
But the infield and
that's
and
the least expensive part
lining
of field maintenance when it comes to baseball and softball fields. So it's a unique area, so we'll work our way through it. If we need help, we'll holler. So just planning ahead, working with our new treasurer to get you a monthly treasurer's report. That would be on the Freedom account. I can tell you from January 1 through today, there's been nothing written out of that account, so there's really nothing to give you, but you'll start receiving those from our new treasurer, and he's going to be emailing those to Elois so that she can forward you those ahead of time.
I see in your report you're trying to look for grants.
Well,
yeah. Where that Conway just got a nice grant for playground equipment, right? And
through the DCNR.
They got it through, so I don't know if you want to see how they did it or how they went about it. I don't know, but they're getting some really nice equipment.
That's the grant that we came to you guys about. That's the.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
So, yep.
Got some nice stuff down there.
So it's available.
It's coming. All right, you got Zambelli's contract.
Zambelli's contract. Walt negotiated for us, so we have no rate increase this year, and a little bit more.
More fireworks, more boom for the buck.
Yep.
In the next 2 years.
Next 2 years.
And even this year, even though ain't no increase, we're getting more. So they gave me an actual list of everything they're going to be shooting off and what they're adding to it this year and the next year.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
So there is a slight increase of $250.
Yeah, $250 for
the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we'll move on to planning.
I think maybe we need action on this Zambelli contract, don't we?
Yeah, you want to take action on it.
So that we can move forward.
What's
with
the
that.
final cost on it then?
It's 5,750 this year, 6,000 next year, 6,000 the following year
So 20 and 21 or
for 20 and 21. So 19, 20, 21.
They ask for half of that now and then the second half after.
All right.
That's 3 years, right, Paul?
Correct.
I
5,000.
will make a motion that we make a 3-year contract with Zambelli's contract as stated.
I'll second that motion. It's $57.50 the first year, $6,000 the second, $6,000 the third year. Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes. Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the Planning Commission. They submitted their 2018 annual report. Mike Phipps, I believe you did this report, correct? Very good job. Appreciate it very much. And I'd like to say thank you for doing that. And Dan Schwartz, Art Craig, and Mike Phipps, the good job you do. And of course, Al Horn, your chairman. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Nate Eisenbrown and
Jenny Fessler.
Jenny Fessler and Gary Broad, yeah. Sorry, lost my thought there. But appreciate everything you guys do, and well job, and we appreciate everything you do. It's been every year for you guys seems to have been rough since I've been here. So next, under the Planning Commission, approve the MODRAC Plan number 2, contingent upon complying with Michael Baker comments. We already went over that, and approval from the DEP. That's just a little subdivision. It went over, it's pretty basic, so I'll make a motion for the board to approve the MODRAC Plan number 2, contingent upon complying with Michael Baker's comments and approval from the DEP.
A second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Fritz, Greg.
Yes. All right. Chairman of the Planning Commission, Mr. Al Horn, blew out his knee or he would be here tonight, so we wish him well. Anything else from the Planning Commission, Dan, do you know of?
Nothing.
Okay, buddy, thank you. All right, and everybody should have a copy of their zoning, building, monthly reports. Everybody's on there.
I don't have the building report done for you.
All right. Next, we'll move on to board comments.
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Mr. Fritz.
I'm in a very felicitous mood tonight. First thing, I was over at the Grange working, and the Grange held a fundraiser tonight for 2 families. One for the police officer that's incapacitated because of issues that she had. Also a family, a young boy, I think it's Whipple, or doesn't matter who.
Winkle.
Winkle. I was just over there before I came here. There were over, I know today we cooked 500 sausage patties, and they were all used, so that tells me there were over 500 people, and they were still cooking when I left. That, plus when I was there today, Tom, I got some good reports. I heard a couple ladies talking about, well, I don't want to use PennDOT's name, but they were saying how much better the roads are done by New Sewickley. So that was a real positive. They always know that your roads are done properly. Also, the police chief was over there tonight washing dishes this afternoon. And I guess my point is, I've only lived here 10 years, but this truly, truly is a wonderful, caring community. I've never seen people pull together when there's need, when somebody needs help like this community. And it just really makes my heart feel great to see this happening. So I am really proud to say I'm a citizen of New Sewickley, and as much as you are. And also the rec board, I thank you for all the hard work that you people do. So that's that.
I have a couple of things.
Thank you.
Good, Tom.
Chief, I want to thank you also. I know Greg already did for the job you did. What was that, Snyder Drive in the township? I happened to be here that morning when things were wrapping up, and I happened to be in here doing pictures, and an officer came in, and then a second and a third. I said, something's going on there. It probably was about a dozen people. But you guys had the equipment, and everybody was trained, and everybody was safe. That's the most important thing there. So you guys did a very nice job working with Beaver County. Very nice job.
Thank you. I'll let the officers know it took a team to make that accomplishment. It was safe on the officer's side, and it's safe on the defendant's side. So it was a successful day.
Sure was.
I will let all the officers know that their work was appreciated by the board.
The second thing, there was our text messaging system. There was a text message or voice message or whatever.
Both.
Both sent out today about noon. And I understand a lot of people didn't get one, a lot of people did. What's the best way to handle that so we can get...
I just need to know who didn't get it. That's why I did them twice, to see how it was working.
Yes.
Lisa said she didn't get hers. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
What was it?
I'm going back to the company
Mine
because...
got it.
Well, I got it. We got it on our home phone.
Well, I did send it out that way. No, I sent it separately.
That's where we got it.
I sent it separately so it didn't overload the system, and I thought, well, maybe this will work. And I tried it twice one way, and then I sent it out over the phone later.
Yeah, it never
Just
came over my
those.
cell phone, but it came over my home.
Was that for the pancake dinner? Or?
Yeah, yeah. So I put it out there three tries to make it work. So I need to get over the company and find out what the bug is.
I got 3 out of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
You're special.
Yeah, I did it to the office, and I actually got the voice message come through the office also, because I just tried them all.
And I just got the email and not the text message. And it's just my text message, or my email that's in
Here, I was going to give credit to the service for helping the large attendance at the pancake, but that doesn't go over.
Probably not.
That doesn't work, Tom.
No.
Just one thing. I got the text, but without knowing, I did know where it came from. But if you hadn't known, it didn't say where it was happening.
That's the old one.
There was 2 of them that went out. One said Big Knob, and the other one didn't.
Yeah,
Because the first one I put it on Big Knob, and it didn't go. I did it again just to put the time in again to see, and then they both went. So I'm surprised you didn't get the other one, because I got both of them on mine.
I got one.
Huh. It's crazy. That system
Something with them.
It needs help, yeah. So do I, but that needs help too.
I have one thing yet, Craig.
Yes, sir.
Being that we have a new solicitor, I don't believe that the job been transferred to him to write an ordinance for the fire departments or checking into an ordinance for the fire departments to charge insurance companies.
I don't, but that was prior, yeah, that was last year.
And I think we need to. The fire department's attending wrecks, and cleaning up from wrecks. Can we charge the insurance companies? And I think you need to look into that and see about writing an ordinance to that effect. The fire departments need all the help they can get. And that money would be very helpful to the fire departments if we can possibly charge the insurance companies for that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I'll look into it.
Okay. All right, everybody? Yeah. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to read a letter. Letters from the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors, dated February 1st, 2019. Dear Mr. Rape, congratulations on your induction into the Supervisors Hall of Fame. In the February 2019 issue of the Pennsylvania Township News, which this is a magazine that supervisors and other staff of the municipal authorities get from the township, there's a real nice article in here for Mr. Dwayne Raitt. If anybody wants to see it after the meeting, they're more than welcome to. Let me move on. We are confident that you are the talk of the township and want to be sure that you are having something by which to remember this honor. Your many years of service and numerous accomplishments make you the perfect choice as a Hall of Fame member. So please accept the enclosed plaque, which I have here, as a token of our appreciation for a job well done. I'm going to finish reading this before I hand this off to you, Dwayne. With people like you serving in Pennsylvania local government, we can rest assured that the township way of life will continue to survive and thrive. Although the job of township supervisor is sometimes a thankless one, it is also very rewarding. As you well know, it is very demanding of your time. You spend countless hours attending meetings, returning phone calls, and listening to residents, concerns and complaints, all in the line of duty. And certainly there is very little money in this work, much of which is volunteer, but that's what makes townships strong. People like you who are dedicated to their community, who volunteer their time and attention to getting things done, and who are very often among our community's unsung heroes. We are very proud of our township supervisors, particularly those of you who have continued to serve year after year. Once again, we commend you for a job well done. Your residents can be proud of what you have accomplished on their behalf. Congratulations. Sincerely, David M. Sanko, the Executive Director of Pennsylvania Association of Township Supervisors. So at this time, I would like to present this plaque to Mr. Dwayne Rape for 29 years of service in the township, and also for being a mentor to me. So, Dwayne, congratulations.
Thank you.
Speech.
There's Dwayne's thing.
The only speech is, it's going to end this year.
Here's your letter of dedication.
Get one afterwards.
Once again, I'd like to take this time to thank Dwayne for everything he's done for this township, for the residents. Everybody pretty much knows him in the township. Like I say, he's been on our board for 29 years. And you couldn't ask for a more dedicated person to this township to help anybody in need or in the situation. And he's done a hell of a job, I think. So, and I greatly appreciate everything he's done for everybody in this township and me too, being a fairly new supervisor. So appreciate it very much, and thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board comments? Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.